Yeah.
Let's get started. Thanks everybody for jumping on. It's good to see everybody. Let's have great energy today. I think I'm at 86 push-ups and like 3,400 so far. It's like the more I think about it, it's like I'm up to like I can do 60 now without stopping. So it's interesting how much stronger you get as you know. And there's a consistency to all of this where you're just doing one more a day that really applies to so many things that we do, especially in this business. When you think about just doing one more, that there's some good lessons in this. I want to double check my math. 3,741 as of today. So the number's growing, and then it starts to grow really exponentially when you start doing 150 in a day and 200 in a day. I won't be banging those out all at once. Those will be going on. You'll see me in my office dropping down to do 25 or 50 of them or something. So I'm really enjoying it. And then the wins are, my win is, I'm really excited about getting ready to start these FHA test cases, because essentially we can stop doing non-delegated FHA loans while we're doing the test cases, not for FHA CHAPA, but the way this process works is that, which is weird because I've had so many people tell me how it works and it's nothing like what everybody's told me. So I think I've just gotten information from a lot of old guys that got their FHA approvals years and years ago. But essentially we underwrite, close, and fund the loan. And then we send it to FHA and they tell us how we did. And so there's a little bit of a risk there, but I have immense faith in both Kelly and Heidi. They both have a lot of experience doing FHA loans. They both have their DE and their CHUMS numbers for a long time. If I get really weirded out about it, Stoddard's had his FHA CHUMS number. What's your number? Like 2 or something like that?
69. Yeah, actually, GF69.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's been doing them for a long time too. So, I mean, so I'm actually really excited. If you've got an FHA loan coming to lock here, let me know. And so, because we still have to work with Kelly and Heidi on just our process for doing this. They're going to double check each other's work on every file. So every FHA loan, because if we send it in and it's a deficiency, then we can't do it. Like it doesn't count. And there's like, you get a pass, you get a conditional, and you have to fix it, and then you get a fail. And you got to do 15 test cases. 5 of them have to be manual. And their advice is on a manual FHA underwrite, you have to downgrade it to manual. And so you have to extra. So this part is part of it. We want to take the best files that we have and downgrade them to the manual. So the best profile ones are the ones that you want to do that with. You don't want to do it on the hard ass one. And maybe on a really sketchy one that we're seeing, we may decide we don't want to do it and we don't want to have to do it. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I mean, unless we're trying to do something that's well over, the DTI, but it works with AU findings and things like that. So I'm pretty excited that we get to start this process, and I think we can get through it pretty quickly. I'm surprised I don't think we have 4 or 5 FHA loans in the pipeline right now. So it seems like we're seeing more opportunities with them. And I'm excited about it. So it'll be really fun to get that behind us. And I'm actually excited with the progress that I see Allie making with different approaches. And she's already developing really good rapport with the team. And so I'm excited about that. So Ryan, you're up. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Day later.
Brother.
31. This guy's only 31. How would you like to be 31? Who's on this call that wouldn't kill to be 31 besides Ryan?
No, aren't you like 30?
And Jonathan.
Let's see. I'm just grateful for a great birthday yesterday. I was able to hang with a couple of my best buddies and play golf with them, and then the family came by the course, and so we all hung out. And Owen just loves the golf course. I'm sure Hudson will at some point too, but Owen just like hates being inside. He wants to go hit balls and putt, and it's very cute and fun, and everybody at the course knows him now, so it's pretty cool. So that is my gratitude. Let's see, going through your email here. When let me see. I wish I had one. I don't really have a particular win per se. I feel like the win is, I feel like we're getting better in the operations department ultimately. Slowly but surely. So I'd say that's a win for us as a team. And numbers, a little bit lighter on the month so far, 15 leads this month, 5 pre-approvals, 19 credit pulls, 9 apps locked. A couple of those ended up going elsewhere, losing them. 2 partridge and a pear tree. I think that's about it for my numbers. And then, let's see, sorry, going through your email, what else you want from me here? And then something I learned. So this isn't something I learned, but I think it's super helpful for us as a team. I've done it twice now, actually on a refi that's closing today. If you don't have income and you need to create income out of thin air and people have money, create a trust. So Fannie Mae has a guideline that as long as they receive one payment before closing, one receipt of payment, which by the way, this lady's signing today and she received her trust payment on Friday, and we got we got documentation on yesterday because it came in on Monday. So basically, as long as they're not the grantor, they receive one payment before closing and it's a fixed income. And so this one, we obviously made it fixed. As long as they have 36 months continuance, then you can use that income right away. So this lady's like particular situation is she was getting separated. She needed to refinance. She had a $50,000 salary. She has a pretty decent amount of money, about $700,000. And so we took $240,000 of that and put it into a trust account. They can't be the grantor. So like a weird situation, we just had her daughter be the grantor and it worked. So as long as, they're just the beneficiary, not the grantor, then you're able to do it, and you could just make it a revocable trust. So they can decide to do whatever they want to later on.
Study the guideline, guys. That's cool. Study the guideline, learn how to do it right. Right on. Good job, Ryan. Lori.
Well, I'm grateful that I have high school friends. We're in Cabo last week, so I missed Coffee for Closers. We had so much fun. There was 9 of us total. So we always talk mortgages and we always talk everything else. But it was really fun. We had a great time. And then before I left last Wednesday, I had an event with Dean that I can consider face-to-faces. I had 22 face-to-faces in the same day. So we did a reverse mortgage for purchase seminar. It was awesome. I've had nothing but great feedback from a lot of the people that I was there. I've had one gentleman, I've pulled numbers for him personally to do a reverse. Dean sent me another one yesterday, and I have 3 realtors that have reached out that I'm having coffee with. Dean has one that we're going to have coffee with after this today too. So very productive, very productive. Getting the information out there is just I guess that's the best thing that I can be doing right now, is getting the positive information, because nobody knows about this program. The questions were crazy, and the presentation, I feel like it was pretty thorough, and it was awesome. So I'm hoping to keep doing those for a while and get more business coming in. So I'm grateful for all that.
Come on. Here's the thing about reverse mortgages. I'm going to get one, and here's why. I don't need one, but I will get one. I don't know why I'd want a paid off house. I just don't know why. I don't know why I'd want that if I don't have to have that. Because the only 2 ways to get my money out of that house, if I need it, is to sell it, which I don't want to do that, or refinance it. And if I don't qualify for a refinance, I can't do that. Right? So if I'm old enough to have a reverse mortgage, the goal of retirement, this is a great quote that she used. We heard this on a recording together. This is a great quote that we use, and I think this makes everybody stop and pay attention. Like, the goal of retirement is not home equity. It's cash flow, right? So you get a bunch of home equity in one hand and a bunch of cash in the other one. You tell me what you'd rather have when you're retired. Like, I know what I'd rather have. I'd like to have plenty of cash flow. So it's not for everybody. I'm not advising everybody to get one. Who just like, if you don't need it, you don't need it. But I don't need it, and I'm like, I'd rather have the money and not need it than need the money and not have it. And that's just my philosophy. So I think it's a great product. I don't know why they have such a bad rap out there. Anyway, Mike, go ahead.
Gratitude. Actually, Dave, you and your push-ups inspired me, from my rollover accident coming up on 2 years ago when my life flight experience hadn't been able to exercise, got cleared a few months ago, but it's been slow start, been busy. And I keep hearing you talk about your damn push-ups. So I started a week ago and grateful for that because I was really cocky going in and I was humbled after a couple of years, but made it to 30 in a row today without stopping. So in the first week.
Wow.
So I'm really happy
Good.
with myself.
Good.
Uh, wins. Here's a couple of wins. So loan related. Two people that I talked to last week, I heard from this week about buying homes. Actually, and I referred them did apps and went out and bought homes. So I got 2.7 million under contract from last week and heard from another guy I talked to on Monday who did an app for 800,000. So I'm up to about 3.5 million in apps in the last week. So it's pretty good numbers for a guy who's not trying to. Um, and one of the things I've learned about that that's been kind of interesting is, I have this mantra of act or be acted upon. And I'm finding as I talk to people that so many people are just kind of fearful with the uncertainty that exists in the world and the markets and everything else. And they just like, they have no idea. And so I'm like, so you can either act or be acted upon. And you can either just get battered from all of the waves that are going to come your way and everything that's going to happen to you and then try to pick up the pieces, or you can decide to try to steer your ship. And the way that you're going to create generational wealth is through real estate, unless you inherit it through a trust. So start going. And it's made a pretty big difference in just letting them, as we've talked about, their personal economy and how that doesn't have to be totally blown about by the winds of the global economy. So that would be my learning for the week as well.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Mr. Battaglioli.
All right, good morning. I am grateful for iPhones, even though I hate iPhones. But when we went to Venice on our trip, and I didn't know Venice was like 180 islands with like 500 bridges connecting them all. I thought it was just like a big piece of land out in the water. But I guess it makes sense since there's canals running through it. And like if you would have gone there 20 years ago, you'd like literally need a map to get from like wherever you're staying to dinner or whatever. And now with an iPhone, we love whenever we go on vacation, just getting lost. Because now you can always find your way back. So like one of the mornings, Luke and I went on like a 6 mile run, just like, let's go left here. Oh, dead end, let's go back. And oh, there's water there, right? And just went on for an hour and we knew we'd be able to get back. So that was like, it's a totally different experience than having gone when I was a little kid one time and you're just like totally lost and can't figure out where anything is. So that was I'm grateful for that. For letting us be explorers and not worry about where we end up. The win, I didn't really have any wins because I wasn't really here last week, but this week I had a Zoom with a client that I did a loan for like a year ago, and then she posted, and for anyone who doesn't know, I usually end up friending clients that are cool clients, not a pain in the ass client, but on Facebook after closing. And so every once in a while I'll scroll through that, like who's having a baby, who's getting engaged, who should I reach out to? And this lady said that her job was being relocated to Texas. So I just sent her a message and just said, hey, FYI, I can help you in Texas if you need help. And we finally had our Zoom yesterday, and she was like, I am so thankful you sent me that message because I was really worried about, I already went through this, that it was great with you, but I don't know anyone in Texas. And so she just kept bringing it up like 3 times during the Zoom meeting. I'm like, oh, that's funny. I just like a random message that I sent, so luckily it's a state that I'm licensed in. So, so grateful, grateful. I would consider that a win. And then
Yeah.
numbers.
I would too.
So we're doing month numbers. So
Yeah, do the month.
38 leads, 25 pre-approvals, 19 locks. anything else? No. Credit pool's 45, so I'm guessing some people getting
Yeah, there you go.
reapproved and stuff like that.
Right on. Excellent week, dude. That's cool. You had a really good week, and the girls did a great job while you were gone.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
They only
for
reached
them.
out a couple of times. They reached out a couple of times for something, but nothing major. They did a really good job. I was really proud of them. So
Yeah, me too.
I
Me too. They
I don't
did
know how
great.
much you were. I don't know how much you were like communicating. Hopefully not too much, but they did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Jonathan.
Morning, team. I am grateful this morning for my wife, Amanda. We've been having a hard time with our pets recently at the house, and I've been in the office more, so she's been handling all that. So just really appreciate her stepping up. And also, she has taken on more at her job. So just really proud of her and appreciative of her. Win for the week. We've got some people out shopping this weekend, so that feels really good. Numbers wise, 10 leads, 21 face-to-face. 3 pre-approvals, 6 events. And then my tip, I picked this up from Ryan. He spoke on it a few weeks ago. Just sending handwritten notes to my pre-approvals. I've already gotten feedback from them being like, that was so nice of you. Thank you so much. And just, reaffirming that trust and that relationship. So thanks, Ryan.
Right on, dude. Mary Jo.
Sorry, I couldn't get it on. I'm unmuted. Thankful this week for just all the different voices and conversations that I've had in the past week. Not every conversation has been, sunshine and rainbows, but it's been just an expression of the human experience, and just makes me very grateful for health and having everybody that I love waking up this day on the earth kind of thing. So lots of great conversations like that. It's been a great week for recruiting. So a lot of people picking up the phone, a lot of people interested in connecting with Dave. Like going full force, I've had to kind of almost rein back a little bit so that we don't overwhelm Dave with too many conversations, because so many people are open to reaching out. So that's been awesome to see. So yeah, love it.
Yeah, so good. One of those guys is a really interesting dude. He's coming in today to do a podcast with me. So that'll be fun. Jake, go ahead.
Hey, good morning. I'm grateful for our Monday sales growth group. That's been great for me. And I really appreciate Mike and Dave taking the time to spend time with us. It's been awesome. I'm also grateful that March Madness kicks back up tonight and I'm in second place. So watch out. Going for the title. Casey picking
I
St.
was in
John's.
second place.
I think we're tied.
Oh,
But you picked Houston
okay.
to win. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I didn't pick Duke, so.
No,
Everybody
exactly.
else-
Me neither. So, win for the week. I don't know. I haven't had these kind of numbers, so this is gonna be my win. I have 2 new contracts this week. I have 2 closings going on this week, and I had 3 pre-approvals this week. So, feel like
Yeah, these monthly numbers are solid, dude. You have 10 leads for the month, 5 credit pulls for the month, 5 pre-approvals he's issued for the month. He's had 4 applications locked this month. Dude, you're killing it. Good job.
it'll be 5 after today for apps. So
There you go.
I just had, because my learning is the PRMG CHAFA FHA process. I got through it yesterday. Once you get through it once, I think it's going to be pretty easy to do, but stumbling through it the first time is definitely a challenge. So that's my learning, is the CHAFA FHA process with PRMG. So I just have to get that turned over today on our side, and then it'll be 5 this month. So
Good job, dude. Really good job.
thank you.
Dean Reiber.
Good morning. I am grateful for, I'm going to piggyback off of Jay. I was going to say, I'm very grateful for the Monday calls. I think the coaching that we're getting from Dave and Mike has just been awesome as we try to navigate this, and really just grateful for all the people that I get to work with here at Zenith. Doing that event with Lori last week was amazing. Like, I'm so grateful that we have her here doing what she does, because it was just great to do that. So I'm very, very grateful that I have the opportunity to work here and have the opportunity to do this. So, and my win for the week, I was doing some follow-up on some of the trainings that we've been doing, and I had a realtor that's been to 3 of my trainings so far. And she said, the way you do a training is amazing. Like, your follow-up, the way you organize the information, your communication, it is so good. The next buyer I get, I'm sending to you. I go, well, perfect. What's that going to be? So that was a good compliment, that at least, you know, what I'm doing is having an effect, and hopefully it'll start turning into some leads. So, for the, not a great month, I only had 4 leads this month. I think I actually have more, but they're, for some reason, they're not showing up. But I had a lot of face-to-face. I had 44 face-to-face meetings this month so far. So, hopefully that'll translate into some business in March. So, I'm planning March, a big month.
April, you mean?
April, yeah.
April.
I can't go back to April.
Oh, no. Thanks, dude. Chris.
I'm grateful for the weather. Sorry, Casey, took yours. Yeah, yesterday and today were just nice. Good to, like, I didn't have to wear a jacket. So grateful for that. Glad you had fun in Italy, G. That's like my favorite is getting lost. Emily and I usually just get like the hotel like map they give you at the concierge, and we just like put it in our pocket so we don't have our phones. And then we just look like tourists because we're like looking at the map trying to figure out how to get home. But getting lost in Europe is pretty fun. I have 20 leads this month, 17 pulls, 9 pre-approvals. I'll have 13 locks tomorrow. Got 2 contracts today, or this week. What else? Oh, a win. Kind of similar to Ryan, just use capital gains income on a client. So, you know, typically when you have a retired client and you have Social Security and assets, it's always good to just get tax returns. And I need a little bit more income. And this guy had like 2 years of capital gains income, and you're okay to use it as long as they have like other assets or real estate to prove that they can, you know, get capital gains income moving forward. So that was I guess a win or something I learned. So
thanks, sir. Casey Clement. Mr. Mom.
Yeah, shoot, between spring break and the end of the day, it's always fun. Well, in the mornings. So honestly, we said no downer stuff, right? So it's the positive here is like I'm grateful that soccer season for our kids has started again. You know, we had this like 1 month lull between basketball and soccer, and when it ends, you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with that same 6 hours on a Saturday every weekend. And then, you know, practices this week, it was gorgeous out, so took both kids out to each other's practices and ran around with them. It's just fun to get back out there and be outside. Let's see, numbers for the week. I know we're looking at month, but I know I was inputting my past client, turning them back to a lead, so I was tracking that improperly. So I know my monthly lead count is not accurate, but I had 4 leads this week. 3 credit pulls this week. 2 new pre-approvals this week. And I know I've got 3 apps for the month, 2 of those this week. I know we said like, hey, let's talk about something we learned, and I've got a couple things that I would like to just say is like, one, Penny Mac Jumbo. For those of you guys that, I don't know if anyone else has done one yet. I'm not sure if anyone has, but their turn times are slow. So fair warning. We submitted a loan parameter change because of amendment and they didn't get that corrected and changed back to us until a week later, which is nuts. So just fair warning to stay on top of them. It seems, and we'll do this. I'm going to work with Lauren and try and get Allie in to just say like, hey, these are the things that we're doing with PennyMac, but they weren't properly sending through notifications when the file had been reviewed and it was back to us as well. So just a couple things to tweak there. So if you guys have any of those, or if anyone has worked with them, I'd like to get some stuff with Allie to make sure that we have a process for the operations department for those PennyMac jumbos.
She's working on one of the things that she's doing is building a stacking order for all the non-delegated. She's creating a stacking order for each investor's non-delegated process so that the processors have a template to follow without having to go to the website to figure out what it is. And then she's also going to start publishing the turn times, all the non-delegated turn times as well, so that we can see, so you guys can know without having to go look. So that's part of the email. She wants to get a lot more robust communication going about turn times and processing, turn times and closing, turn time, where everybody's at, not just underwriting, so that Kelly's putting out the underwriting one for her, but we still don't know what the turn times are at the investor. So that should be helpful, but that's a good point. That's an excellent point, Casey.
Yeah. So I know they don't come up a ton, and PennyMac's not always our best price. Like usually Huntington's better, especially if we're doing arms. So Huntington, I think we've got a better process for. The other thing I was curious, Hubber and I were talking about this yesterday, actually, and does anybody send their total cost analysis to their borrower before they're actually having that sit and doing their buyer presentation? I'm curious.
No.
I see one yes. Okay. So we were talking about this, and I never, ever, ever send that to them, even if they ask me for it prior to my buyer presentation, because they're going to look through it and not have the exact understanding of what they're looking at or the context of the options that they're reviewing. And we had this, the context of the conversation was like, hey, I'm having people that are they shopping me? Like, is this contributing to that? And I don't know. It was just a conversation we had. But if I have the opportunity to present those options to them, discuss the different rates, the potential buy downs, the discount points, whatever that might be, they're not having these thoughts of, well, I already have objections to this total cost analysis or these rates before coming into your presentation. So I know that's not necessarily a what did I learn, but I'm trying to learn from that to see what the group thinks.
Well, Jacqueline seems like she's the one who sends it out. Jacqueline, you want to comment on how you tee it up before you send it out for the customer? Because Jacqueline rarely gets shopped. Like Jacqueline has some of the lowest concessions of all the LOs that we have. So what do you say before you send it?
So I'll have the initial conversation, just understanding what they're looking for. I always give them the option. Are we just trying to look at numbers right now, or do we want to go through the full pre-approval? Because I found that trying to pressure them into doing the full pre-approval usually scares them away. And when they're just trying to figure out, okay, what's my budget actually look like? And then I schedule the sit on that call. I do my applications over the phone. I don't do online applications. And then that's also part of my handoff back to the agent so that they know that I've communicated with the borrower and that I've provided them information. And then I just tell them, like, I'm going to send you a mortgage coach link. I'm going to include a video so you have a high level understanding of what you're looking at, but we will review it together. And I will just kind of talk you through what you're looking at and why I've set it up that way. And then we can kind of dig into the nitty gritty. And then I'll do a loom. I give them the mortgage coach and then I do a loom and just show them where everything is. And I don't, like I said, I don't get shopped very often. So it's not been an issue for me.
It sounds like by taking that application over the phone, like you've got an extra or more detailed touch in there ahead of time. So I think that would certainly contribute.
Well, I think the other thing that's happening, and Chris was on that call last week that Amir did. I do have a recording of it. I'll get it to everybody. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to access it though, if you don't have access to the Go portal, but he touched on this really well. And this is one I think Chris's aha was, I'm not spending enough time building the relationship on the first call. I will tell you that I think that's the number one not getting shopped strategy is the relationship. If they like you and they trust you, that's the need to look around goes away. They're like, "Man, I really like that guy. I like that. I like, you're my loan officer. That guy's going to be my loan officer." When they get off the call, if they feel like that, I think you cut down on the need for shopping dramatically. If you can connect. He had a great, one of his quote, or one of his strategies was to, based on whatever their area code, he would Google their area code and go like, "Hey, are you from whatever state?" Like, well, like Mike's got a 214 area code. So like, "Mike, are you from Texas?" Like, and so now it's just an opener, right? Like mine used to be like, "Where did you grow up? Did you grow up here?" And if they grew up in Denver, it's like, "Oh, where'd you go? Cool. What part of town?" And, I've lived here my whole life, so I know everywhere. And it's like, "Where'd you go to high school?" Back when I was young enough to have that conversation with people. And whenever they tell them, I mean, that was just a whole, now they're talking about now they're sharing with, "How did you and your wife meet?" It's a great question to ask. When somebody starts sharing how they met their spouse, they're like sharing really personal things with you, and they're going to automatically like you because they're sharing things because you're letting them talk. If they say, now, if you make the mistake of going, "Oh, well, here's where I met my wife," it's like, okay, well, now you just negated everything they just said. So don't talk about you, talk about them, let them talk. And I think that relationship thing is crucial. So I think one of Jacqueline's strategies, what Jacqueline's doing, I think she's one of the few ones that does this, is she's taking the app over the phone, which is a great opportunity for rapport building. And I'm not saying that you should all take the app over the phone because I don't think very many people are doing that. But I used to really like doing that because I created a lot more rapport with it, and it really cut down on the shopping. But I would be worried personally. But the way she's doing it is different though. She's not just, "Okay, well, here's your numbers," right? Like she's taking the app over the phone and she's having the conversation. She's getting a lot deeper into it, and then she's sending the numbers. Right. So that's a little bit different than just quoting some numbers and letting them go and shop it, I think. So it's a good discussion though. Okay, Jack, go ahead. Thanks, Casey.
Win and gratitude. I took Monday and Tuesday off, and my kids have spring break this week. And so I took them, we stayed at the Gaylord. And then we went to the Children's Museum and the Butterfly Pavilion. And so just got to hang out with my kids for 2 days, which was pretty fun. Numbers, not great, but I was doing a different job for a little while. So 16 leads for the month, 11 credit pulls. I've got 3 locks this month, 18 total pre-approvals, and I've got 6 closings this month.
That doesn't suck.
It's not great.
What I wanted to talk about was Ryan did this last week on Friday. He sent me a chat message, really nice day. There was like 5 of us in the office, 5 or 6 people in the office on Friday. And he sent a chat message saying, "Hey, I'm going to go for a walk here in a little bit. You want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, you want to ask everybody else?" And he said, "Yeah, who's all here? Brittany?" Question mark. I was like, "Who the fuck's Brittany?" Who's Brittany? And he meant Nicole, because Nicole was sitting up at the front desk. I go, "Who the hell's Brittany, dude?" And so he wants to shut the door now because he doesn't want anybody to hear that. And so anyway, we got everybody to go with us, and we went for a walk together. And as I was doing that, it occurred to me how fractured mortgage companies typically operate. Sales v. ops, sales versus ops, right? Sales and ops. It's always these 2 big departments, sales and operations. And God, I would love to I know that that's typically always the approach, right? But at the end of the day, you're one company and you're one team. And the more that we can promote that as a group and start with us, like it starts with us. It starts with us deciding that we're going to get to know these people because we don't know them. You don't spend time with them, you don't spend time with them personally, and you don't get to know them at a personal level. You don't know enough about them. Like, did y'all know Kelly has a child? Like, I didn't know that. Kelly has a little boy. And so I'm like, oh, you have I didn't know. That's terrible that I don't know that. Right? I think that's awful that I don't know that. And I don't have like 20 underwriters. I have 2, right? So it's just something that I want you to keep in mind, because if we can promote one team, one company, we have a completely different culture than what everybody's used to. And that will be a big differentiator in the marketplace for us, because if you have a group of people that are all trying to get the same thing done, because that's what we want. We all want to get loans closed. Allie's bringing a fresh perspective for me, because she has the Steve Jacobson Fairway mindset, which was, if the loan officer can bring another deal in and we can get it closed, let's close it, right? We want to make the loan officer look good, because the loan officer can win with the realtor and the loan officer can win with the customer, and there's a lot of future opportunity for that. We're going to want to try to figure out a way to do that. And it's just a good reminder for me but I think that we can do all of our part. I would tell you that Fairway has a very ops versus sales mindset going with it. And I just think that those can become really toxic cultures. And at the end of the day, they want to win too. And so one team, one company is going to be it's a theme that I want us to help promote. And, it starts with us. It starts with the people on this call, spending time to get to know somebody. Don't just jump on the call with them. Ask them how their day's going. How are you doing? How are things going? What else is going on? Like, getting to know them, because we're always just bang, 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 right? I want to be efficient, that I want us to save time, but at the same time, they're human beings, right? At the end of the day, we know that if you treat your clients like that, it goes a long way. And spending time to get to know Allie, spending time to get to know your processors and your underwriters, spending time to get to know them, those are your partners. Those are your partners in your success, right? So make your life a little bit easier. Go read How to Win Friends and Influence Others again. It's a great reminder of people just want to be human beings and be treated that way. Anything else anybody want to talk about? Right on. Let's have an awesome day, everybody. Go kill them, and good luck to the basketball pool people.